did people use before toilet paper? Leaves? Stones? A peek into the past reveals answers that are clever, weird, and surprisingly practical. Today, we're taking a journey from medieval privates to Roman benches to Chinese bamboo strips. Choose your favorite. If you dare, first things first, don't imagine modern bathrooms. Privacy, plumbing, and convenience are all relatively new luxuries. In many places throughout history, managing human waste was a public affair, a communal task, or simply adapted to the climate, available resources, and social norms. Hygiene practices were shaped by what was on hand, what grew nearby, what wealth could buy, and what tradition prescribed. In parts of medieval Europe, for instance, one account describes a thick hemp rope hung in the latrine. After doing their business, users would allegedly pull the rope up, slide it between their legs, and use its coarse texture to clean themselves. This rope was communal and not replaced very often. Well, to us, this sounds strange. For the nobles, using common leaves or twigs was considered beneath their status. The rope, oddly enough, signaled a certain refinement. It's important to note that this practice is mentioned in some travelogues and local records, but accounts do vary by place and time, and historians still debate how widespread it really was. Now let's head to ancient Rome. The Romans made their latrines a social affair. Picture long stone benches with holes spaced side by side where people sat and chatted. Privacy was minimal, so how did they clean up? Many historical sources point to a shared sponge on a stick called a... This tool was kept in a channel of running water and rinsed after use, sometimes in a mixture of salt water or vinegar. It sounds incredibly strange to our modern sensibilities, but the Romans were often practical people. The sponge was reusable and, when dipped in antiseptic solutions like vinegar, was believed to be hygienic enough. They were pioneers of public sanitation in many ways, with complex sewer systems. So this was just one part of a much larger system. What about the ancient Greeks? Well, some people reportedly used fragments of pottery or smooth-edged ceramic shards, known as pessoe, as scraping tools. This sounds risky, and indeed, some sources mention the danger of cuts, but pottery was everywhere and cheap, making it a readily available option for many. Using broken ceramics was likely a varied practice, and, as historians note, it certainly could be a dangerous one. Now let's journey to ancient China, where a much more refined solution was found. In many parts of China, people used thin, smooth strips of bamboo. These were sturdy, disposable, and easy to wash. Bamboo itself has natural antibacterial properties and was widely available, making this arguably one of the cleaner historic options. These bamboo strips could be rinsed and reused or simply replaced, offering a very practical solution that was tightly linked to the local ecology and resources. Ultimately, the choice of cleaning tool often boiled down to resources and social status. Leaves, moss, and twigs were common among the poor. Pottery shards or old rags might be used by others. The wealthy, of course, had better options. They could afford fine, washed linen cloths, or even had designated servants to tend to their personal hygiene. The tools people used were as much a social signal as they were a practical necessity. Your method of cleaning showed the world your place in it. Of course, communal latrines and shared implements presented real health challenges, especially where drainage and clean water were lacking. But cultures developed ways to mitigate the risks. Dips in vinegar, the use of ash, boiling cloth, and dedicated laundering were all early attempts at hygiene. Over centuries, slow but steady advances in plumbing, public works, and the production of soap shifted norms towards single-use and private systems, paving the way for the world we know today. Toilet paper as we know it is a thoroughly modern invention. It wasn't until the 19th century that commercially produced paper products began entering bathrooms. Before that, various reusable cloths or disposable local materials were the norm across the globe. The modern role, marketed for its convenience and superior hygiene, only became widespread when technology, paper mills, and advertising campaigns made single-use options viable for the masses. Modern hygiene isn't just about invention, it's a product of infrastructure and industry. So, there you have it. The rope, the sponge, the shard, or the bamboo strip. Each method has its own logic within its historical context, shaped by local resources, social rank, and cultural rituals. This messy, inventive history shows us just how ingenious humans can be. Now, we want to hear from you. Which of these options seems the least awful to you, and why? Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to read your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more journeys into the strange and fascinating corners of history.